What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, I'd like to give my review of Star Trek Discovery Season 3, Episode 10, Terra Firma, Part 2. And in this one, it seems like we finally got Philippa Giorgio, Michelle Yeoh's character's swan song. She's now out of the. It looks like she's out of the show. I think she'll be back, but we get to see the rest of this alternate world flashback type storytelling that we got in the last episode, in part 1 of this episode. So we see her back in her mirror universe, Emperor Giorgio self, and in this episode we actually see that her character has changed, right? She's making decisions with a little more empathy now and a little bit more, I want to say kindness, because there's nothing kind about her, but just a little bit more social awareness. She's still a bad person, and that's something that's kind of always gotten me about this character, is that she's always been allowed to just wander the Enterprise free, despite the fact that she's put them in danger several times. She's always been able to, be a part of major Discovery decisions, even though she can't be trusted with information. and she was a ruthless dictator, a ruthless bad person. And at the end of this episode, they're actually thinking about her fondly. And I'm like sitting here thinking, is nobody glad that she's gone? I'd be glad that she's gone. I would be pumped that she's gone, because she's somebody who's not a good person, who has committed atrocities, who has put our lives in danger. Yes. I don't know. I don't get that aspect of it. But let's talk about the so first of all, she's gone, but she's not dead. She's in, Carl. I'll talk about Carl in a second. It looks like Carl's put her in her own reality now, where she can continue being Emperor Giorgio or whatever. I don't know. Her fate ended up being a little muddied for me. If anybody watching this knows exactly what happened to her, Emperor Giorgio, at the end, let me know in the comments down below, because I didn't really follow that part too well. Let's talk about Carl. This segment was just dripping with fan service, and I don't know whether I like it or don't like it, to be honest with you. Okay, I like it. But it was a little bit on the nose too. Alright, so Carl ends up being the Guardian of Forever, and we get to see the Arch from City on the Edge of Forever, from Season 1 of the original Star Trek series. We see the Arch, we hear him say that he's the Guardian of Forever, and they even use the original voiceover from that very first episode. So Carl is actually the Guardian of Forever, and that was an awesome callback to the first season of Star Trek. Clearly, that first season of Star Trek is in canon. We are establishing more and more and more that Star Trek Discovery takes place in the prime timeline. With the original series, Star Trek The Next Generation, Enterprise, that timeline is a timeline that we're dealing with here. And Discovery is now centuries, 900 plus years ahead of The Next Generation. Or at least 800 plus years ahead of The Next Generation. So that's awesome that they keep establishing that. And the fan service was great. Seeing something like this that is so familiar to Star Trek fans, I just had a big smile on my face. I was like, they're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing it. I thought about it some, and I was like, okay, was this a little bit on the nose? I mean, they already had an episode this season called Reunification 2. Are they doing a little bit much at this point? And I don't know. I mean, I think about how much I praise The Mandalorian for what it's done and the fan service that it's given us. I'm just trying to decide, is Discovery doing this out of desperation, or is this inspired storytelling? I'm not sure. I really don't know. So I'm just going to keep watching it and decide whether or not they're doing all this fan servicey stuff out of desperation, or whether they actually have an interesting place that they're taking the story. But I did love seeing the return of the Guardian of Forever. I thought it was phenomenal. I thought it was great. And the sound effects were great, and they nailed the look of it. Everything about that sequence was perfect. I still don't love Giorgio's storyline. I still don't love the fact that most of this episode took place in the mirror universe. I'm just kind of tired of the mirror universe at this point. And I didn't love the fact that the Discovery's crew was so warm to Giorgio. I don't think she's that good of a person. I don't think she's a good person at all. So I don't know. I just felt that in some ways, it kind of felt like it was more of a send off to Michelle Yeoh than it was to Giorgio. But I don't believe that either, because I think the character's gonna be back. I think the character's gonna be back. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. I like this episode for the most part. It was a mixed bag. Like I said, I didn't care about a lot of the mirror universe stuff. I didn't care about Michael, trying to revolt against Giorgio and then turning against her co-conspirators and throwing all the bloody badges on the table in front of Giorgio. I didn't care about all that because none of that's going to be consequential to the main storyline. It was consequential to Giorgio's storyline. And since I'm not a big fan of that character in the first place, it was kind of inconsequential. But I did love the Edge of Forever stuff. So that's my take on it. This episode was a mixed bag for me. What did you think of Discovery Season 3, Episode 10, Terra Firma Part 2? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your take on it. What did you think of the return of the Guardian of Forever? Were you as excited as I was? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the OQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you later.